Welcome back, everybody. It's Tony. I'm Tony's from Boards Life. We have Rough Swordsman and our special guest of the day, Mo from Mo's Game Table. How you doing, Mo?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Let's see if Rough actually. Oh, he did unmute his mic. Yes. All right.
Yes.
We're working on that.
Yes. It's gone down in leg end. It really has.
Yes. Yes. He always starts hello, and you're just like, unmute your mic, Rough. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So Mo, it's been a while, and usually you take my spot when there's a spot. So I was like, you know what? I want to get Mo on because I haven't talked to Mo for a while, and I really enjoyed having you on and talking with you about war games and stuff like that. And I know you've had quite a busy time for a while there, moving and everything. Everything's settled down a little bit now.
Yeah, everything's settled and just working on a bunch of projects and editing videos, like I was just saying before. We're working on a bunch of videos for Red Strike, which is coming out from VUCA. And because Eve's already mentioned that the other day publicly, so now it's no longer secret or anything like that. But we're going to be doing a bunch of training videos.
Not when he's parading about with a box of it, you know.
Yeah, exactly, that big giant 5-inch box. Yeah.
Oh man, so it's going to be another Mr. President size box then, basically.
It may even be bigger. I mean, I'm looking at the Mr. President box over here, and I think it might even be a little bit bigger. There's a ton of stuff in there, and it should be pretty good. We're about 10 videos in right now, so I think we're shooting for somewhere between 25 and 30 videos.
Okay, so this is going to be a tutorial series then to kind of help out. Oh, cool.
Yeah, train up sessions give you a breakdown of every different little thing, similar to what Bruce and I are going to be doing for Air and Armor, where we're going to do like short 2 to 5 minute videos, sometimes maybe 10 minutes or longer, but it's going to break down all these different things so that way you can understand it by seeing it on top of reading it in the rule book.
And I think
I'm definitely...
I think Red Strike certainly does need, because it's a heavy, crunchy old game, isn't it, Mo? So you'll need that sort of help holding hands.
Yeah, it's a complex game. You're talking about like a 50-page rule book or so, and it's going to be the same for Air and Armor, which is a 150-page rule book. So I mean, it's they're going to both be beefy games, and they're different too. They're two very different games. So it's great to see though more hypothetical World War III out there. I think it's great.
Oh yeah. I was just telling guys before we jumped on into the green room that I'm getting more and more excited because the class I'm taking, we're getting closer to Cold War gone hot. And so, although I could have played the Carl Fung game Iron Curtain as I was going through my class, because there's 3 different like scenarios or 3 different time periods. So there's like one right after World War II, and then like another middle one, and then kind of the 85 type scenario. So I probably should have played that as I went through, because that would have worked. But hey, let's go ahead and say hi everybody in the into the chat.
Why not?
Phoenix Knight said he's going to be lurking. I said as long as he's not lurking in the threshold, and those Arkham Horror fans would know what I'm referring to. There's a extra box.
Actually, it used to be a crime in this country to lurk. There was the crime of lurking. Seriously. It's not anymore. You can't be done for lurking now. So
we got Alistair here, William Bird here, Mo's here.
I hope so.
Do that.
Yeah. Extra Squeaky's here. Is from Germany. Dangerous Dave has got a live one this week. Yep. Our good old friend Thomas, Historic Wings. Coy, 51. He was on last night. We got Meandering Mike. Edward Lasso.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, brilliant.
David as well from Michigan. Oh, he's just up north. He's from that state we don't mention here in Buckeye Nation. But anyways, Mo gets that. Ruff's like, what the hell are you talking about? But anyways, John Haley, the mighty Mo, is in the room. Viper Dave.
Hi, Dave.
And
hey, Dave.
Jeff, reviewing his budget. Yes, because the topic for today is wargaming on a budget. And I wanted to take this in two different kind of topics. One is actual like inexpensive games that are worthwhile, which there's a lot of them out there nowadays. I just received one, and I'll show up here in a minute, that I think are really worth it. But also, maybe you're going to put a little money away for a larger game. What's worth it? You know, is there a lot of game in the box? What comes with it? You know, so because a lot of the games now are close to that $100 mark. And what are you going to get in that? Is it going to be worthwhile? I'm even starting to look at that depending on the topic. That's what our topic's going to be today for a while. So we'll get through it. So so what have you guys been up to? So Mo, what have you been playing? You said you were doing videos for tutorial for Red Strike. Have you been playing?
Yeah. Haven't had as much chance to play as I'd like to. I'm working on that, and also we'll learn to play for 1812 or on the Great Lakes Frontier. So I've got a bunch of editing ahead of me, and then I'm also working on the Fifth Fleet series or a Fifth Fleet game as well. So pretty busy. But the last game I did play was something a little different. I played 2040, an American Insurgency.
Okay, yeah,
that was interesting.
Is that a I can't think of his name now, but he does all the those particular ones. Why can't I think of his name?
It was Ted Castronova.
Okay, so yeah, no,
that was for Compass. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was Compass. That's is that a political game or more of a conflict game?
No, it's really, I mean, it's a coinish game, so it's a strategy game. It's that same type of strategy game. It's 2-player, so it's more straightforward than most of your coin games. Most of your coin games are basically just tug of war type of trying to negotiate, position yourself for points. Yeah. Here, it's basically you're actually competing against each other in different ways. But I thought it was pretty interesting how you do like the social media track and how you use that to influence things. And it's the same type of thing. Place a cube, remove a cube sort of thing. So it's area control in that regard. If you're a coin fan, you'll like it, I think. Okay. Some people have been critical of like the cards because the cards are fairly plain. Yeah, that's something that could have been done a little bit nicer, I think. But overall, it's a card game. I mean, it's a CDG, so it's gonna work the same as all the other coinish type games work. So it'll be familiar, like I said, to people who play those games, and it's an interesting topic because it's something that people, there are people that talk about a civil war in the United States. Some people don't talk about it. Most everybody does not want to see that, but it's still something that, hey, what if? Let's try taking a look at it. So that's what he did with this.
Yeah.
Silent War. Nice.
It's not around at second chance because I'm thinking I want that.
Which one? Silent War?
Silent War,
2040.
Yeah. Or both now, you've said them. And also, what's this Fifth Fleet? Is that the reissue from Compass of the old Fifth Fleet?
Yeah, it's being redone. The Fleet series is going to be redone. So
right. The one worry I have about it is they've got the original designer involved with that, don't they? For the Fleet series.
Fleet series, it's literally going to be a reprint.
Okay.
Okay. So there's going to be no redevelopment. No. Okay. It's not going to be like Third World War where all of it was in one box and everything was kind of massaged to work together a little bit better and redeveloped in some areas. Here, it's going to be just reprint. And going to be obviously updating graphics, things like that, and errata, and then hopefully, if we're gonna,
I'm gonna say that E-word that we don't say that E-word on this show.
Well, let me tell you.
Well, the thing is, with the
there should never be errata.
Oh God, don't! I thought he's off for another week, and anyway, but no, with the Fleet
I think
series,
Alistair was saying that I had to do the rant for the week, so I have to come up with one. I'll find it somewhere.
That's good. Yeah.
I was just saying, hi Charles. I was just saying that with the Fleet series because I've got the what do you call it? Sixth Fleet, original one, and that cost now the prices of those Fleet series have gone up stupid money. So you might as well get a brand new, revamped, better looking game. Yeah. So I'm quite looking forward to them because I haven't got the others because I can't afford them. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. The aftermarket prices are so high that it's kind of cost prohibitive for most people. But with a reprint, then it'll be your standard price, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
Well, there'll be dice in the box because that's another rant.
Was that a Jester rant?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Why don't they include
No,
dice
do
in the
they?
box?
Why do they?
Why
Yes.
do they?
Oh, why do they? Okay. Why do they include dice in the box? Can someone tell me they can save 12 cents per dice if they did that?
I just hope he doesn't watch this because our lives will be misery next week.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes
I think
back.
I might be sick on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, like, to save 25 cents, you can remove 2 dice from the box. It's like, well, dice are there because the simple answer to that is like this. For all of us here and everybody in the audience, or probably 99.9% of the people in the audience, this will be our second or greater game that we just received. So having dice is not a big deal. But for someone somewhere, that's their first game. So they need those dice.
This was the argument that we were making.
And then on top of that, not every game is D6. You got D6, D8, D10, D12, some D20. So it's better to have those in the box with it. So that way, oh, this is D8, D10 or D6, D12.
But as gamers, we love dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just love, I mean, look, I took all mine. I think I've taken most of mine out now. There.
Don't break your back picking up that bucket of dice.
D6. I love it. So I can go, what one shall I use today?
Is that all you got?
That's all I've got, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a small collection.
And D10s. But, I know. But then I can go, what shall I use? Yellow. I fancy yellow. It's stupid. But, I've got a choice.
My issue is when it's a game that requires multiple dice and they don't give you enough. It's like, you need to roll this dice. You need to roll 3 D6s. And you're like, okay, so you roll 1, and then you roll another one, and then you roll another. Come on, give me 3 dice. It's not going to cost that much. Come on.
Yeah.
So Stuka's in the house. Hey, Stuka,
go.
Sorry about your loss on, what did he do? Ottoman Sunset last night?
Yeah. Oh.
Man, that was rough. Those Dardanelles can get you. You got to get those forts built. But
wait a minute. He lost at Ottoman Sunset?
Yes.
And people are shocked.
Yeah.
Winning is the shock.
Yeah. Well, that's all States of Siege games. I don't think I've won one yet. So yes, there. But it was like, the way to lose that one, man, there's like, usually there's more than one way to lose those, but losing by the straights, that's rough. Yeah. Yeah. Neglected the straights. Yeah. You have to build those forts. So somebody.
I love those games.
I do too.
Well, but they do my head in because you have to do so much stuff and not enough resources. And it's, no, they won't come that way. Oh, they're coming that way. So
William asked, does Vassal hurt sales? I don't think it does because most of us
think it helps.
Yeah, it does. I do too. Yeah,
I do too.
Mainly because you still generally most companies don't include everything you need. There's always something. You need rules, something like that. So.
Yeah, we do all the Vassal modules. I handle. We leave something out. I think most companies do the same thing. So that way you have to own the physical copy of the game.
But it's like, when you get a couple of schmucks playing it live on a Friday and a few people, that's us too, by the way.
Yeah.
And people watch and they go, actually, they go and get the game. So, it's.
I think we've sold a couple of flying colors. Since we played that. There's people that now have P500, the second printing of the Men and Iron Tri-Pack.
Nice. So it's good.
Yeah.
Good fun.
We're playing one of the Infidel modules. Infidels. We're playing Antioch. So it's really fun. I really enjoy it.
It's an easy-ish game.
Yeah.
I'm getting comments from some subscribers because I upload it to my channel. Like, when you have your one, Gimpy does the same, doesn't he? Puts it on his channel just because you get it a different audience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting told off. He said, get them knights in, flank them, hit them hard, keep going. And I'm going, I'm trying. So
he's doing some damage to me by all means. By all means, yes. He started
Monday morning quarterbacking always sucks.
Yeah. So Jeff was one of the ones that we sold him on flying colors.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we really enjoy that Friday. So Ruff, what else have you so the 2040 you piqued my interest because I'll be honest with you, I was like, do I really want something like that? But that's kind of piqued my interest now. So
well, I think some people were a little off put because of the topic. And then of course there was some nitpicky stuff about, the cards and things like that. The map wasn't as pretty as we've seen from like GMT with their coin games, things like that. But in the end, it really comes down to what's the quality of the game, and I think the quality of the game is fine. And of course, it's not going to be for everybody. Not every game is for everybody. I'm not a big coin fan. I've played them, I'm done with them and things like that. But this was enough of a different subject. And it was the fact that it was 2 players, that you can play it solitaire by playing 2 hands, of course. But you just see where the narrative goes. And some people think you can't play a 2-player CDG, but you can, even without Stuka Joe's great solo system. You can still play it as long as you are honest with your card plays.
Okay. Yeah. So that's cool. So Ruff, so yesterday we played some sort of game or something like that. I can't remember. Men of Iron, yes. Which you were handing it to me right now. I had some guys ready to go, and then you just brought your men at arms and your knight in there, just absolutely
just annihilate. Mind you, the dice were lucky.
You had some good dice rolls towards the end.
Yeah, I did have some, but it's a cracking game. Easy enough. I know it's not your era. You're fond of. I know that, Mo. But it is.
It's got knights. Everybody likes knights.
Well, yeah, and it's got yes.
If you put more on the flank, you would have won faster. According to everybody on your channel.
It's brilliant. I mean, but it's a good game. It's not as hard as Great Battles of History. Great fun. But I know because of what's happening over this side of the pond with me and things, not a lot of videoing going on, hopefully starting next week. But I'm playing Combat ! At the moment, which is a game that we will probably be talking about in this tonight thing because of what it is, and having fantastic fun with it. And hats off to Compass, the rotters, for charging me that amount of money for it. But it's and I've got volume 2 as well, and that's.
I was going to ask you if you got volume 2 because there's even more insane amounts of stuff.
Yeah, it's too. You've got your normal game, you've got an RPG in it, and a campaign game, and God knows. So having great fun with it.
And that's actually a great way to dovetail into the subject or of the topic of today, because you're saying board gaming on a budget or wargaming on a budget. Right there, it's not cheap to get those 2 games. When you do, you've got game for the next 5-10 years easy.
Yeah. And it's but this is we'll talk about it. And then after that, I'm going on a compass sort of shill thing, because I think the next one's going to be Carrier Pacific Battles.
I got to get that out too. I got
you got it, have you?
Yeah,
I mean, that's not too bad as a price. That's not too bad.
No, that one was too bad.
Some of the other Compass games. That's not too bad. But yeah, so I'm going to be having fun with that. Hopefully, to start recording it next week if I can. If I all being well, fingers crossed. So not much apart from that. All this, the only thing that turned up was Glory. And that's the reason I got these. It's that blooming Stuka Joe again, and Paths of Glory is because of the CDG solo system. It's been designed for these 2. So I thought, why not? Everybody raves about these games. So, but they are CDG, so they're not easy to solo. But hey ho, they've adapted Stuka's system, and looking forward, hopefully not too distant future.
Well, you're just a big fan of Peter O'Toole. That's why you had to have that one.
Yes. What a legend,
Although I agree with that one.
That isn't him, but he looks
no,
like
it isn't. But they are
like Peter O'Toole.
They do look very alike.
Yeah, Lawrence
and him,
did look like Peter O'Toole. So
that was a great casting choice. Not only just acting ability, but look.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of acting ability and looking, Stuka Joe makes every game look fantastic. So yes, I don't disagree with that. So I got to play. I actually broke out Budapest 1956, the Revolution, Days of Ire, which is solo or cooperative game. You can play the Russians. It could be a conflict. There's 2 sets of rules for it. So I got to play that. Got my rear end handed to me, such as the Hungarians did at that time as well. But first gameplay was a little rough, so I'm going to work on it. But what I was going to say is you have the Zhukov deck because Zhukov was the Red Army general that came in to put down Hungarian. I didn't realize if you've ever seen The Death of Stalin, which is a dark comedy.
Great film.
Great film, yes.
Great
why am I
film.
blanking? Yes, why am I blanking is the guy who played Zhukov, Jason Isaacs. Is it Jason Isaacs? Yeah. Looks so
Jason
much,
Isaacs.
looks so much like Zhuk. Like they did a really good job at kind of not
And
exactly.
He played it right over the top as well, didn't he? So it's brilliant.
Well, just about everybody did in that movie.
Yeah,
like everybody was, Khrushchev. Oh, by the way, Khrushchev wasn't that skinny.
No, but it's he had a bald head, so the guy had a bald head. But
so it's interesting.
I think he was the only. Was he the only American?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I think he was the only American in that one. Yeah, Steve Buscemi playing Nikki Khrushchev. Yeah. So I just watched it recently. That's a good movie to watch multiple times because you catch different things every time you watch it.
And it's quite true to what happened. I know it's sort of darkly comic, but it sticks quite good to the narrative and to the history.
The only thing that was quite far off was the execution of Beria. It actually happened about a year and a half afterwards.
Yeah, I suppose that's
they had to kind of jam that together to do that. So, but no, great movie. I'll watch that. I keep watching it because it's just so good, and you catch stuff, and you sit there and you laugh, and it was funny because as much as they're all
frightened. This is the fear of that. That regime,
the NKVD,
between it's just frightened, and it's terrible, but it's funny.
Yeah, but to know that Stalin was such a huge Western fan, loved the Wild Wild West and cowboy movies, and Americana really when it comes down to it, but yet he was such an anti-American. It's just, you kind of look at the history and go, these people are, yes, he was evil, but they're more interesting than what you think. Not good, but just more interesting. So,
well, you humanize them. That's one of the greatest things I thought about the movie Downfall is they actually humanized Hitler, which made him more evil because you get to see him talk gently and nice to his secretary, things like that. You see him be kind and just eating dinner, doing mundane things aside from just ordering executions and things like that. He was when you see that Bob Hoskins, he was Khrushchev and Enemy at the Gates.
Another good film. Yeah,
that's a good film.
When you see somebody like a Hitler or Khrushchev or whatever, Stalin, any of these guys, you see them humanized. I think it really carries more weight than the caricature because caricature, after a while, you just you don't take it serious.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Mo. I didn't even think about that, but that's definitely true. It makes more sense because when you can see an evil person doing kind, you're like, well, then why was he so evil? What
exactly?
What made him so evil? So that's definitely one game I got to play. Of course, I played Men of Iron, but one game I got to play was Saturday night after the show. I was like, I kind of wanted to play, but I learned how to play Plantagenet, the Levy Campaign series that I've been kind of putting off just because it's like, it looks so difficult and so complicated. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Tony, stop now. Stop it now. Let me just put my fingers in my ears because that Levy Campaign series, I thought, not going down that rabbit hole. Right, off you go.
It was really good. It definitely had that medieval type feel to it where you had to feed your armies as you moved them. Every time you attacked, you had to feed them. I just really, really thought is quite ingenious. So we got through one turn, one levy and one campaign series because we basically sat down. It was me, Braxton, Bragg, who jumps on every once in a while. You know Braxton Mo, don't you?
Yeah.
And then another guy from the group sat down and went through the sequence of play and answered all and went through it slowly. And so we got through one levy and campaign, and I'm like, this is really, really cool. There's a lot of thinky to it. But it's not difficult. The mechanics aren't as hard as I thought they were going to be. So definitely interesting on that one. So that was a shock. So now I've got to get that out and play that a little bit more. And my a distant plane is starting to fall off.
I think the audience is amazed that Anon Brit has pronounced Plantagenet correctly. It's all in the chat
I
now.
watched the show called The White Queen. It was a series, and it was they were all British, and they called him Plantagenet. So I assumed that was correct.
Well, were they expecting you to say plant magnet?
Plantagenet. That's yes.
Plantagenet or something like that. You know.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. Plantagenet. Yeah, because they think it's French, so they leave the T off. No, it's Plantagenet. So.
Well, T is one that does throw a lot of people off.
Yeah. So it's actually if you pronounce it as it is spelled, you get it right instead of like trying to throw extra syllables or
exactly
silent letters. Just say it as.
Well, it does come from the Europe.
Yes.
You know, so I can understand. You know, but us being lazy as Brits, we just pronounce everything.
Well, it's like Bagration, Operation Bagration. Instead of saying everybody says Bagration.
Yeah.
You know, it's like. Okay. And that's passable for an English speaker, but the proper pronunciation is not the way it looks.
Yeah, Mike was like Artie Frenchifies it. Yes,
he Frenchifies everything. He's trying to posh himself up. That's what he's doing.
But no, I really did enjoy it. I can't wait. Now I really want to play some of the other games because I know they all have a different feel to them. So like the El Moravid has a lot of the with the religious undertones to it because it's the Muslims versus the Christians in that aspect. And then the what is it? Inferno has some flipping vassals. Some vassals will actually flip. You can get them to flip to your side as you go through. So it's really interesting. Now I really want to get into that, but I'm like, crap, Distant Plane's still on my desk. I haven't played that in probably about 2 years. I want to get the Budapest game on because I want to do more of a historical game on that one to go towards more historicity of my. And actually, that's kind of the way I want my channel to go now is go into more of a history learning while I'm playing. So teaching while playing. That's kind of the way I want to take my channel. Except when I'm playing rough, and then it's just two guys drinking beers and killing each other.
Yeah, and swearing at the dice. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is you were talking about the vassals flipping in that one game, what, Inferno, I think it was.
Yeah.
If they're doing something like that, then I wouldn't be shocked to see that Levy Campaign series make its way into medieval Japan, because that's what happened in all of the Japanese wars.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of flipping sides, even during battles and things like that. So,
yeah. Edward puts extra U's in his words to British.
So do you pronounce it color or do you pronounce it color?
That is the correct spelling
of words
of color.
Well, that's the thing is, does he say color or does he say color like US people do, or does he say color?
Yeah.
Or does he say like the Brits say, which is color?
Color.
They don't even say the R; they say color.
We color. No, we put an A. It's an A on the end of it.
True.
Color.
Oh, yeah, it's not a sofa; it's a sofa for some reason.
Yeah,
it's a sofa. Yeah, sofa.
So you don't drop the T; you actually use the T in Plantagenet, and then you don't use the R in color.
No, we
Makes
put
sense.
An A.
We put an A.
That's how people get confused.
Yeah, and when we say places like you call it Birmingham, don't you?
Birmingham.
Yeah, but it's like Birmingham. That's how we say it.
Well, if anybody has seen Peaky Blinders, they know what it is.
Yes.
Birmingham.
A lot of people do go Birmingham, though. You'll see them say Birmingham. They emphasize that.
Or Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Yeah, that's the other good one.
Oh God, I want to throw people out the window for that one. Like, come on, it's Edinburgh.
I can understand it.
American people would say Edinburgh
because it's spelt like that.
Yeah. And then a name that throws people off, a last name, McLaughlin or McLaughlin. Which one is it? Because I've heard people call themselves McLaughlin. I've heard them say McLaughlin, spelt the same exact way.
I'm McLaughlin. If I can't even say it, McLaughlin is the one I've heard the most.
Yeah.
So I assume
that's
it depends on how pronunciations.
Depends on what happened when they came over, who decided to pronounce it and spell it the way it is. Because Kinner is Scottish, and it was actually Kinnear. And they spelled it multiple different ways, so it's spelled K-I-N-N-E-R. but if you go back to the Scots, it's Kinnear, which is because that's the way it was pronounced. So when they came over to the U.S., it became Kinner, and because they took the ear off of it. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Oh yeah, I do agree with this. It's not
Reading.
reading; it's reading.
Reading.
Yeah. We'd call that reading.
I've been reading about Reading.
He's like not a fan of the campaign. You try to move your army, the different transports. Yeah, you got to do that. And then you consider foraging the whole lot. And then when you're ready to fight, half your army will run away. It's a little bit more than that. I think the Plantagenet actually is a little bit more going for it. So yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm pleased to say it doesn't, like coin, it doesn't overly appeal to me. So, which is my credit card goes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When I got the first, what was the first? Nevsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the
Crazy,
first one.
crazy artwork. The guy
Yeah. That was not. It was an unfortunate choice.
It wasn't the worst artwork I've seen, but it was definitely was not the best.
It was an unfortunate choice of covers, I think. But I got it and took a look at it, and I was of the same mind. I was like, I wanted a war game, and I got Agricola, so I was like, no, that's okay. I'm out. And I was just like,
hey, at least there's no sheeples or horples or.
Well,
or
that's the one thing I was waiting for. I was like, okay, do I have to farm in between here?
Yeah, I was gonna. Where's the vineyards? It's oh, Mitch.
Yeah, and this discussion and spelling of pronunciation must be prepared for 64-cent words. So you can save money on your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna not have the dollar words.
Yeah, not having the long words. Yeah, using the thing. What's it? So I did see a question there. Slough. It's Slough, by the way, John, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And then you've got, how do I pronounce
sloth.
that? You sloth. Yeah. How do I? And William underneath has put, how do I pronounce that? I assume you're talking about the gun, the Beaufort gun.
Well,
Beaufort,
that's also
Beaufort,
it's
Beaufort.
It's also the what is that? Margaret of Beaufort.
Beaufort. Yeah, it sounds like it's got a D on the end of it, but
instead of
or Beaufort, South Carolina.
Yeah, Beaufort.
If you're curious about that time period, there's a series that's really called the White Queen, and it's all about that particular Plantagenets, Beauforts, Tudors.
They're coming out in the chat now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll tell you how to pronounce them. Apart from Shrewsbury, is it Shrewsbury or
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Yeah, that's the one you guys. That's the one you guys have the most problem with, isn't it? Worcestershire. Yeah,
Worcestershire. Yeah.
Just like Worcester, Mass. People say Worcester.
Worcester.
No, it's Worcester.
Yeah. Oh God, everybody's coming out with it. So yeah.
Let's see what we got. Beaufort, South Carolina. Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's how you.
Got to play that. Got to play a couple of those, and then I picked up because I saw this a lot of people playing it, but I picked up the Long Range Recon Patrol by Mike Lambo, another one of his games. I have played Battles of the Medieval Britain. I've played the Fields of Normandy, the first one, and I love them. They were great. This is Vietnam, and honestly, the maps are getting so much better when it comes to it.
What do you do with those?
I print them out, by the way. Oh no, I leave it like this.
You play it in the book.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But what I do is I have I do make the counters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So since I make the counters, because you have to have the book anyways, because the one side has all the AI instructions, so you kind of have to have it. As long as I can lay it flat and it doesn't do anything, so a lot of times I'll put something on top of it. But as long as I can lay it flat.
That's why, like with Thomas's books and others, I have to. Luckily, they put the files on BGG, so I have to print them out.
I actually
can't be doing that. A book is sacred.
Yeah. Fields of Normandy, I did print out all the maps, so I did have the maps. But I was on in a hotel for a conference, and I took the Battles of Medieval Britain, and literally I had this. It was probably the book plus about that much room for the desk, so it was quite a small desk when it came down to it, which was crazy because usually there's a big table there. But I was able to play it, had no problem, couldn't beat it. So yeah, that I have no idea.
Land fair.
It's going to have a lot of in it if it's Welsh.
Landfair. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask me what I've been drinking.
Yes, John. We'll get on to it. We're done. Gaming. Actually, speaking of, this is one reason this was a budget game. It $20, $19 flat. Amazon, and it's got everything. You do have to provide yourself D6s. So if you've never bought a game before, you might have to go buy a D6.
This is it.
Why would they include a D6 anyway? I don't see why you'd need it.
Here he goes again.
I keep saying we don't need dice in games.
But
why I drink?
Yeah.
Break out the whole
honestly, I have a lot of these book games are a lot deeper than what a lot of people think. They are very good. Yeah. There's a lot to them, and they're not easy. I played one scenario 3 times, and I've yet to beat it, and that's Battle of Medieval Britain, because the AI Mike does is really good. Thomas's, which I do have. So since he's in, I do have Mag 23. This is also really good. It's deep, and this is $20-$30, things like that.
But also, I don't know what Mike does for background, but a good third of the book is background information. And these $24, I think.
24, 29, something like that. Yeah.
A lot of game in them. Unfortunately, though, like a lot of the budget games, if you've got to print it out, there's no way I'm going to cut my book up.
No.
Some people do, and they are the Antichrist, but some people do. I have to get
now.
It printed
What
out
I have now, I will say the people that I've seen cut the book actually take do it with a razor blade, and then put it into a binder. Like they put them in page sleeves and then put it into a binder so they have it all there. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
But you could also just as easily print out the maps, slip them in here, and then carry that with you, and then you have the maps there. This got 10 scenarios, 10 maps. Yeah.
So a lot of game for $20-$30, yeah?
Yeah, there's 10 scenarios. And honestly, I think a lot of it, if you put an hour time on it, it really works out. So somebody, and we'll get to it, Alistair says, print and play dice. Okay, here you go. Got it for you. There are dice apps on your mobile.
Oh,
but
wow, you've been around rough a lot. Your mobile?
Yeah. Or cell phone for you.
No,
Americans.
You call them cell phones. Mobile. It's a mobile. No, it's
mobile.
Mobile. I can't even say it.
Yeah, I go on holiday. I don't go on vacation either. I go on
unless you're in Alabama, then it's mobile.
No.
Mobile, Alabama.
It's mobile.
Yeah. So
for the Brits,
a free dice app that you can actually customize the color dice, the number of dice, no problem.
Not the same.
I know, but if you're traveling on a plane, this is perfect. If you're traveling, this is great.
Yeah, because you got a sheet of acetate and a marker.
Yeah.
No, sure. If you're traveling, put the app on. Yeah, fine, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
I'd want to take the dice.
And it was like the battles of medieval Britain. You're rolling like 3 dice, so I'm like 3 dice. Here we go. So get it on the airplane. Yeah, I can see. Okay, I'm gonna roll 3 dice. Crap, they're all over the plane because they're D6s, so they're rolling all over the place. What did you get back there? I on the aisle. What's that roll? What is that? Oh.
Yeah, the box sets are on their way.
Box sets are on their way for all games, counters, and maps. The first will be on sale.
I made all my counters. You made all your counters. I don't mind doing that.
So they're going to be box sets now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So, can I ask who's producing them, Thomas? Because I'm kind of curious about that. If you could let us.
Did he go with Blue Panther? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, just who did he go with that?
Where's that then?
Georgia, I think. Valdosta.
Sounds Russian.
Georgia.
Is
No,
buying
Georgia,
$1,000
US.
phone?
Is that Georgia? Is that Georgia? God.
Does buying $1,000 phone count in the wargaming budget? No, because you need it for other things. It's just a useful tool if you happen to have it. So
I think
save the
I
cost.
think
Save on
he's-
cost of
he's been,
dice.
I'll tell you what. I think he's been
It's
drinking.
saves
He's
that
getting a bit
quarter.
Larry. He's getting a bit Larry. He's been drinking.
Yeah. Edward says the
that's a
dice popper
classic.
from Trouble.
Hey,
What do you
that's the
call?
same
It's
as
not
taking
Trouble
a
for you
Scotch
guys,
glass.
right?
No, I was trying to remember what we called it over here. I used to love playing it as a kid with the old pop. We called it the pop.
Yeah.
It was called the Pop-O-Matic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. The puppet.
But I can't
Yeah.
remember what it was called. It's basically Ludo, isn't it? What we call Ludo over here.
Oh.
Yes,
Yes,
here's
it
Blue
is
Panther.
Blue
Right.
Panther. And with many changes, for
Oh.
instance, rounded corners on
So
the
is it going to
counter.
still be the laser cut, or is it going to be different type of
Yeah.
counters?
I know they've gotten really good on their laser cutting.
They've
got
gone
new
a bit
machines.
thinner as well,
Yeah.
haven't they? They've gone a bit
Yeah.
thinner.
So I think they, so they, and
Nice.
also you don't get the burnt. I miss the smell of the burnt ones.
The barbecue.
I
Yeah,
tell you what,
open it up and you can smell burning wood. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no, I
have to
tell
let
you
it air
what,
out for a little while.
No, horrible. When you sent me Mrs. Thatcher's War,
Oh,
I had to leave it in the garden for a fortnight. Stank the place out.
Laser
Dryer
cut with
sheets.
3 rounders. Yeah,
Dryer
Nice.
sheets. Put a dryer sheet in your box. Leave it in there for a couple days. It'll be nice and minty fresh.
I'll tell you what. Once they go up, I'll be buying them for sure for Mag
Nice.
23. Definitely, that'll be really cool. I was looking forward to that when he said he was working with somebody on that one. So
Nice. It'll be good to have those in box format. And that's the good thing about the book formats is it gives people a way, or it gives a designer a way for themselves to get exposed to the public. And then if the games are that popular, then maybe a publisher will pick it up and do a proper box copy.
Yeah,
Or,
that's
you
what
still
I've
get
got
your
mine in one of these wallets. So I've got the maps
nice.
and the counters. So, but yeah.
Nice.
And I've actually started getting my counters made, but I'll end up buying them because I'm just running out of time. I just we'll get into the print and play part of it. Yeah.
It is time consuming, and I know it's. I mean, I don't mind it. It's one of my fave things, especially with games that I can't get. And you can get on the War Game Vault. Is it? You can get the print and play version and print it off. Talking of print and play, while there's a lull and everyone's gone silent, it's also a way of getting a cheaper game that would cost tons of money because it's a classic. Here's my version of Carrier, the 80, 90, whatever it was, that cost stupid money. I did my own version. I've got the map printed in one of the tubes there, and it cost me a fraction of the price of a second-hand game of Carrier. So that's another thing. But it was a lot of work involved. And another print and play one. I think I've shown this before. Rifles in the Ardennes, my print and play version. Counters.
Nice.
Yep.
So, but I don't mind doing that. A lot of people go, "Get out! I'll buy the game. Get out of it."
So
Okay,
I think
so now
I think
Go
Jester
ahead.
is still at Frankfurt Airport, isn't he? I think there was an issue with his ticket.
Yeah,
was
we
missing
phoned
something.
up. We said there's a
No, it was
rather
missing
cool-
information on his ticket, so they had to issue some errata for him to get on his aircraft.
frustration. Thank you, Coy. Frustration. It was called what you called
we
Trouble.
call trouble.
trouble. Yeah, we called it frustration. Yeah.
Well,
Thank
here's
you.
what's nice
Drive me
because
mad.
now I can put the book in the box,
Nice.
and then I can put it on my shelf and I can show it off. So if people
And
are
you've got
curious.
some place to put the errata, which there'll be tons of. Gone quiet.
Well, let me tell you about errata.
Yeah. Here's a top. They're
Tired
very
of telling
expensive.
people
John.
how to fix their games. I can do it.
Mister showed a print and play ticket.
Showed a play ticket.
He didn't have it. He didn't have his boarding dice. Yeah,
He only
okay.
printed page 1. He forgot to print page 2.
We won't need that.
Yeah. There's no errata in Thomas's games.
I
Come on.
know. I'm being silly, Thomas.
I know. Yeah, I know. But no, that's kind of cool because they actually, so you'll be able to get the counters with that. You still need to buy the book, but you can buy the counters separately. So it's going to be an optional thing, which is really cool. So if you have no problem with that, that'll be great. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. So
Nice.
yeah, definitely excited that. So he rolled snake eyes passport control. That's where he ended up getting, excuse me, sir, you need to come over here and into the private room.
I think what it was as well, that we both made a phone call to Frankfurt Airport saying, please, this is an anonymous call. Can you be on the lookout for somebody? Blah, 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 blah. And they've gone, that's him there. Look, detained.
And they pulled him over to the side.
I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this to come up. Yeah.
Algiers.
Yeah.
Algiers or Algeria? You got to be more specific. I don't know where I am. No shit.
Little geography.
Yeah, he gets pulled over to the side and he's like, don't you know who I am?
Oh dear, he's gonna murder us next week.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So,
it's all done in jest.
Anyways, hey, Ruff.
Yeah.
What happened today?
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. What happened today in history?
Grab your drinks.
I was going to say, I got up about a bit of a lay-in this morning, and then
we need a soundtrack for this. We need a soundtrack, a little bit of music that kicks in.
Oh, let's see here. Let's see what I got. I might have something.
You need the music. You need a fireplace. You need a pipe for him to sit there and
puff
on his pipe, drink a little brandy.
Okay, the day is 16th. Offset to turn it down a bit, Tone. It's I'm the star here. Come on, get out of it. All right then. 1387. King, you can't think back that far in your country, can you?
13. Oh, shut up. I can, but it's in petroglyphs.
1387. King Henry V was born at Monmouth Castle. He went on to win the Battle of Agincourt against the French on St. Crispin's Day. So today he was born. 1845. Yeoman Warders, the bodyguard of the English crown, popularly known as Beefeaters, was established at King Henry VIII's court. Yeoman Warders work full-time at the Tower of London. They are retired from the armed forces, have at least 22 years of service, and must also hold the Long Service and Good Conduct Medal. Yeomen of the Guard work at St. James's Palace on a voluntary basis around 10 days a year and are often incorrectly referred to as Beefeaters. Have we lost him? He's gone. Oh, here he is. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
So 1776, a bit from your part of the world, American Revolutionary War, of course. The Battle of Harlem Heights is fought. Now, I've done a little bit about this. The Battle of Harlem Heights was fought during the New York and New Jersey campaign of the American Revolutionary War. The action took place today, 1776, in what is now the Morningside Heights area and east into the future Harlem neighborhoods of northwestern Manhattan Island in what is now part of New York City. The Continental Army under Commander-in-Chief General George Washington, Major General Nathaniel Greene, and Major General Israel Putnam, totaling around 9,000 men, held a series of high ground positions in Upper Manhattan. Immediately opposite was the vanguard of the British Army, totaling around 5,000 men under the command of Major General Henry Clinton, no relation. An early morning skirmish between a patrol of Knowlton's Rangers, which I'll talk a little bit about in a sec, and the British light infantry pickets developed into a running fight as the British pursued the Americans back through woods towards Washington's position on Harlem Heights. The overconfident British light troops, though, having advanced too far from their lines without support, had exposed themselves to counterattack. Seeing this, Washington ordered a flanking maneuver which failed to cut off the British force, but in the face of this attack and pressure from troops arriving from the Harlem Heights position, the outnumbered British retreated. Meeting reinforcements coming from the south, and with the added support of a pair of field pieces, the British light infantry turned and made a stand in open fields on Morningside Heights. The Americans, also reinforced, came on in strength, and there followed a lengthy exchange of fire. After 2 hours, with ammunition running short, the British force began to pull back to their lines. Washington cut short the pursuit, unwilling to risk a general engagement with the British main force, and withdrew to his own lines. The battle helped restore the confidence of the Continental Army after suffering several defeats. It was Washington's first battlefield success of the war. After a month without any major fighting between the armies, Washington was forced to withdraw his armies north, GMT game, in southeastern New York, when the British moved west into Westchester County and threatened to flank Washington further south on Manhattan. After 2 defeats, Washington retreated west across the Hudson River. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I do like the old Revolutionary War, and it was quite an important battle for Washington. But the August the 12th, 1776, General of the Army George Washington promoted Knowlton to, and I'll say, Lieutenant Colonel. He was ordered to select a group of 130 men and 20 officers from Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts regiments to carry out reconnaissance mission. This is what they were famous for. They were sort of an intelligence group, the first of its kind in the Continental Army. The famous American spy, Captain Nathan Hale of Coventry, Connecticut, was under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Knowlton. Besides providing tactical intelligence, Knowlton's Rangers, outfitted as a regiment of light infantry, took part in several battles of the American Civil War. And that is why they say Knowlton's Rangers are considered the predecessors of modern special forces units, such as Army Rangers, Delta Force, and other special ops units. So a bit going on there, but I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here's
go on then.
What
being historical.
Yes, I know. Oh, 17.
Nice.
Yeah. We got fed up with it. And also, you ganged up on us with the French and the Spanish. Get out of here. You run out of money.
No, but what what's interesting is people have this idea. Long Island was empty. It was farmland at this time. While nowadays, Long Island's completely pretty much so completely. There's always a little bit that's not, but it's completely,
built up.
Suburb built up. So it's kind of interesting when they talk about this battle for Long Island. It's like these were all like farm fields and stuff like that. So, and yes, Edwards in New York. You can't figure out Morningside Heights is on the west side of Manhattan. Yeah, I kind of get you. Why would Morningside be on the west side when the sun? Yeah, never. Okay.
When you're saying,
because historians don't know how to name things properly.
No, they don't. They just went, oh, yes.
When you were going to say, when you were talking about, was it Henry V, morning Monmouth Castle?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say Monmouth County. I was like, really? He's from Jersey.
Yeah, I know you've nicked all our names.
Yep. There's a video about what was it? Oh yeah. Sorry, we have a visitor. Hold on one second.
All right, I'll carry on.
Yeah.
1779, American Revolutionary War. The Franco-American siege of Savannah Heights begins. That's another part of the
You look really good.
great battles of the American Revolution. 1940, jump forward to World War II. Italian troops conquer Sidi Barrani. And in 1943, the German 10th Army reports that it can no longer contain the Allied bridgehead across Salerno, which happened, the invasion of Salerno happened last week, if you remember. 1945, the Japanese troops in Hong Kong surrendered. The surrender was accepted by Royal Navy Admiral Sir Cecil Harcourt. And lastly, but I need Tony, I'm going to share a picture in a minute.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yes, no problem.
Get this up because get that ready. Share screen. Window. There it is. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm just going to get it up. I'm just going to talk about it. 1975, the first prototype of the MiG-31 interceptor makes its maiden flight. The MiG-31, NATO called Foxhound, is a supersonic interceptor aircraft developed for the Soviet Air Force by the Mikhayan Design Bureau as a replacement for the earlier MiG-25 Foxbat. The 31 is based on and shares design elements with the MiG-25. The MiG-31 is among the fastest combat jets in the world, and it continues to be operated by the Russian Aerospace Forces and Kazakh Air Defense Forces following the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. The Russian Defense Ministry expects the MiG-31 to remain in service until at least 2030, and that it was confirmed in 2020 when an announcement was made to extend the service lifetime of the existing airframes from 2,500 to 3,500 hours. Let me see if I can get this up for you to show. Share.
So the first one was in 1975.
This isn't it beautiful thing?
It is.
That was the first flown of the prototype, if you like.
You missed out on one. I think, wasn't this it, or was it another one? I think it was 10 years later is when Maverick inverted and said, "Watch the birdie."
Oh, that's MiG-29.
It was a 29. Okay,
29,
okay. I got my
that's a
crap
MiG-29, which doesn't exist. So
I know.
Because it goes from this to this, doesn't it? 25 to this. But yeah, they're cracking looking aircraft of the 80s, weren't they?
It
70s
is.
and 80s. You know, the Americans were sort of very sort of similar looking things. And we've got our airplane expert in the chat.
Oh, I knew Thomas would have to come.
That's why I wanted to pitch and talk about it, because in case Thomas turned up.
Yeah, they used to do that with the
de-icing.
de-icing too.
As the ground foods were drinking the
Yeah,
They would do that with the de-icing too. They would request to de-ice, and then they would claim that they were experiencing icing conditions. They would get clearance to use their de-icers. They weren't. They'd land. The crews would empty out the alcohol, and they would use that.
But it's better than crayons, isn't it?
Crayons are the best.
What is that about Marines and crayons, Mo?
It's just something that is just started as Marines are stupid and we eat crayons. So we embrace it. We love it.
Yeah, because we know, because you know, and we know you're not stupid. It's just, it's just, because you're grunts, aren't you? I suppose
it's just part of the whole shtick. You know, like everyone's got something when it comes to each of the branches of the military, but the famous one is the crayons. And the Marines, the thing is I think it started as kind of like a joke to knock the Marines, and the Marines, like anything else, we embrace it entirely, and there's nowhere to go when people embrace something that is supposed to be maybe derogatory.
They can't battle forward, can they?
Exactly.
It's just
we own it.
It's like, we don't care. Great. Yeah, Tweez, there was lots of stuff I could mention, but I wanted to just talk about that battle, and that was long enough because it's an interest of mine, and also, you know, it's all part of the world and why you celebrate every year and rub it in our faces. So
Happy Treason Day.
Yeah.
treason. So Natalie wanted to come down and say hi. She's never met you, Mo, so she wanted to meet you. So
hey, Natalie, how are you?
This is my wargaming buddy at home.
The one who keeps kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Yes, she's really good at that. So yeah.
Good.
So, but she's like, "Who's Mo?" I'm like, "Well, come down and say hi to Mo." You know. So there we go. So
how's it going? So you enjoying war games?
Yeah.
Good,
we haven't got to play much lately. It's just been school and everything. For me, has been busy, and now she's back to school. But we got to get back to it. We really do. So
good.
So we can
do
there's
plenty of them to play. So
school and work.
Yeah, she works. She has school. I work. I have school. So yeah. But we'll definitely have to get some more.
You drive everywhere. I'm learning to drive.
Yes. Yeah. God help us. She's getting her license. Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It wasn't the MiG-29. It was the MiG-28 in Top Gun was fake. My bad. I was off by one number. I'm correct.
You are.
Yes. Yeah. It was the F5 painted black. Yeah.
Yeah. It just looked cool. I thought the whole scene was hilarious.
Oh! Don't forget the chair force. This is Air Force. They don't do anything.
Air Force.
Yeah, they just sit in the chairs.
Yeah.
They can't go anywhere unless there's AC.
I thought they were stores.
Well, the funniest one, which is actually true, but I laughed when I was talking to a bunch of my friends back in the day when a friend of ours, he went in the Air Force. He was complaining that he had a 4-man room. And I was like, he's like, oh, we only have 4-man rooms. You don't get individual rooms or 2-man rooms. This sucks for basic training. And I was sitting going, open squad bay, dude. That's where I spent the entire time, you know, so. That's just
But
the way.
God,
it
when I
was.
went down to Fort Knox for my ROTC, it was just one big long hall with about, I'd probably say 40 of us in there. You know?
Yeah, open squad bay.
Yep. Bunks too. Don't even get your own bed. You got a
Yep.
bunk. Yep.
Bunk
God help
beds,
you.
2
if we had
racks
a
each.
snore.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good times.
Yes. And that painted line on both sides for attention. You know.
Oh,
you have
yeah.
attention, you're standing there. Yep. I love that. That was so much fun. I got to go into the tank simulator, which was really
Nice.
cool. And I got to actually be the captain. So, or whatever drives it. Not the driver, but I got to fire the freaking weapon, and they're like,
Gunner.
and he's like, don't take your head away from the eye. Don't have your eye pressed hard against the periscope, because it actually had the kickback. And he's like, we always have somebody that ends up getting knocked out because
Really?
they're so it actually was like you were in the tank, like there was no room to move or anything. So it was really, really cool.
Well, there's a little headrest thing that you can put your head up against. And you have your CVC
there was
helmet
that.
on
But they're
too,
like,
so.
don't put it against it. Don't hold it a little ways away, because it actually had the kick on that one. So it was, and of course
did it have
this
the sound too, or no?
Yes, this was also in the 90s. So when you shot the machine gun and you killed people, there were little pixels that were jumping, and that was like square pixels were the only.
Yeah.
They're like, you see how the pixels are going up? Yeah, you're killing the guys.
Yeah, that's good. Did you get to shoot a real tank too, or no?
No, but I did qualify with the M16 on a sharpshooter.
Nice.
And that was back when they had it was still the Russian pop-up targets. It wasn't, it wasn't anything. So they still had the big Russian.
With the scowling Russian, yeah.
And with the AK-47s, and you're shooting down range. So yeah, I did get to qualify sharpshooter with the M16. That was so much cool. That was so much fun, and always had to go down the rappelling tower, and it ended up doing it Aussie style, running straight down. I don't know.
This sounds like fun.
This
sounds like fun.
It is.
It is. Getting yelled at and marching all over the place. Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, it's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
Getting yelled at's cool though. It's all part of it.
It was nice because we were like between my freshman and sophomore year in high school. And when we finally got away from the barracks, the drill sergeants would be a little more open with the chants as we marched. Stuff that would not be acceptable maybe around camp, but you get away
when it got out of earshot, it got a bit more raucous, did it?
Yes. It was great. It was a good time. So it was the first time and the only time I ever had to kneel down because I had not enough water, and I was getting dizzy because I didn't have enough hydration. And I literally looked at my two squad mates and I said, I need your water. they just handed me their canteens, and I just downed it, and then boom, back up, and I was good.
The problem with that, the only thing about that is with hydration that people forget is when you get to the point of that, like you were, it's too late. You're gonna have to hydrate because you're behind the curve at that point. You have to hydrate prior and everything, and that's why.
Luckily, I had learned that was like 3 days in, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done." I'm like, okay. From that point on, I had more water than I.
Which you don't need. Your body will get rid of one way or the other.
Yeah.
So no, that was a good time. Yes, the more color to the chance.
Color.
Nice little.
Yes, spelled correctly, Edward. Thank you.
So, work, nope. School, nope. Retirement ain't always as much fun. Yeah, I could understand that. And ragging on air, here we go. Sometimes you have to.
Hey, the way I look at it is I don't rag on the Air Force. Someone's got to fly the plane. Someone's got to sit in the rear with the gear. Hey, you get cold beer. One thing that is true, though, about one thing that's amazing about the Marine Corps is no matter where we ended up, there was always cold beer. There would always be cold beer, especially if it was Marine Corps birthday, they would find a way. And a good example of that, a little side story, was in Fallujah when they kicked off the battles a couple days prior to the Marine Corps birthday, November 10th. And they had gotten the okay from the Iraqis. They said, hey, listen, it's Marine Corps birthday. We want to give 2 beers per Marine.
Oh, yeah.
So they said, sure, no problem. We'll allow it. So they brought in like 800,000 cans of beer. And then they even made sure that the Army that was supporting the attack as well, that when they came off the line, they were handed 2 beers each as well. to celebrate. So everybody got one, and they're not two cold beers. Two cold cans of beer. So you can't beat that.
And there's a book. I was over at Barnes and Nobles today, the bookstore, and it's like, what was it? The most dangerous beer run ever, and it was about the guy that ran beer to his buddies in Vietnam.
Yes,
I think there's a movie about it.
There's
now,
a
too,
movie about that.
Yeah, but it was the book first. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Guy literally flew to Vietnam to get his buddies some beer, like not like in Saigon, like in the jungle type stuff. So yeah,
that's a good friend.
Yes. You want to keep him on that one.
Oh yeah.
So, but I do have one real quick. I need to spend your money. And it is the last 100 yards. It's for King and Country. So this is the good old Brits getting added. And it's not an expansion.
But I think you still have to have volume 1 and 2.
Yes. No, this the training guide can be used with 1, 2, and 3, but this is its own one. It's not an expansion.
Doesn't matter. I've ordered it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially after we played it the other day.
Very fun. Yeah.
Now, and Mo, have you played the last 100 yards at all?
Yeah, I played it when before it even came out. I played because Mike Denson is from the area, so I had actually demoed it a couple times, played with him a couple times, and enjoyed it. It was still kind of in the end stage of development.
Okay.
And then it came out, I got it, and then I just ended up falling into my call list because the rules were still kind of a mess. And I was like, you know what? I'll get a future version of it at another time once the rules are ironed out. And from what I hear, though, they're not really ironed out yet, are they?
Well,
I didn't think they were that bad.
They're not bad, but they keep this one's going to have the new version of the rules in. You know, when Airborne came out, that had the new version of the rules in.
So what you're saying is there's a RADA.
I think it's more clarification than a
I think it's more the way it's written.
Yeah.
I think it was suffering with Fields of Firedrum, sort of problems. Not as
I don't think it was as bad as Fields of Firedrum.
No, not as bad as that. But it did irk me that I've got to wait now until this one comes out, or the expansion comes out with the new rules.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what difference there are. Look, May 2023. Look.
Yeah.
Living rules.
But here's the thing: you can actually download the training guide. So if you wanted to learn, and the maps for the training guide, so you could actually technically print them out and actually, I think actually goes through Vassal, but you can actually learn the game using the training guide, which I appreciate. They're starting to do this now.
Yeah.
Fields of Fire is going to have it with the new deluxe version. It's going to have the kind of like training missions to teach you how it's done. And also, the last time, I really enjoyed it when Mike taught us. So Mike Berticelli taught me and Ruff the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when he taught it, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like, it made sense after somebody explained it. But yeah, reading it, it's kind of like,
Now, when I go back and read it, I know what I'll remember that thing because it's different. You've got this
very different,
reaction thing, which is quite good. Instead of just you go, I go, or I go once, you go once. There's reactions.
Yeah, and you can get inside someone else's decision loop, and at that point, you can start getting the momentum and things like that. But it's still nothing resolves until after.
Yeah,
it all happens at once instead of saying,
weird. It's weird.
I hammered you and I killed you guys, so you don't even get to shoot me.
know,
that type of tactical game is a joke in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, and it's done in times. The time moves forward. It's you spent 10 minutes doing that instead of you should have only spent a couple of minutes. So I've delayed you, and you've only got this certain amount of time to complete this mission.
There is the one in your hand.
All right, not Bud Light then.
No. That would definitely not be. Well, it's a light beer, so I don't want to drink light beer anyway. But when it comes to the one in your hand, it'd be the one that you'd be drinking.
No, you won't want to drink. Nobody wants to drink a light beer.
No.
I have to, but I've found good ones though. Yeah, and Bud Light's not one of them. But anyways,
no, never was.
I joke.
I don't even like Bud. Let alone
exactly. But no, so this has got the Brits in it, which I know there were some Brits in the paratrooper one, but this is really.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of we were a little bit involved in the last World War. Yeah, just a bit.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, just a bit.
So I'm really looking forward to it. With it coming out, there's only 329, so let's get that up to the 500.
Yeah, I mean,
but I have a feeling this is going to get printed when it's ready to go to the printers, anyways. I think it'll be one of those ones that,
from my point of view, it's really good. I mean, okay, I know most companies are American, and I like the American army and that in their World War II games. Fair enough, but it's good to see that some of them, some games are coming out that are about us. Like this one and the Fields of Fire. Parachute one, and even things like Jerry White's Storm and Skies Above Britain and the Reich, involving us.
How many of those designers that are doing that stuff on the British or American designers?
I think most of them are, actually.
How come the British designers aren't stepping up and doing the British units?
Have we got British designers? I don't know. Yes, we have.
Yeah, Matt White.
Well, Matt White did it, and when he did it, his little one, that was all about the Brits, about the paratroopers. He did put the Americans in there as an afterthought. Otherwise, he's thinking of overseas sales. So it was, but I don't think. No, I don't think so. I don't know of any Undaunted Battle of Britain. Yeah, I mean,
that's not yeah. Oh yes, I did see this. The Old School Tactical has the Italian edition. I'm excited about that one.
That'll have us in there. There, and we've got North Africa 41. Mark Simonich's new game. So it's good to see. I just
don't know. Are there more like British designers that maybe I just don't realize they're British too?
I don't know. Do you know what? It's a terrible thing to say. I don't know if there are any more.
Well, that's a job for you next week.
No,
there you go. Got you assignment for next week. Talk about British designers.
There's probably hundreds, and all going to be emailing me now.
So Mo, I did message Mo, and I'm hoping he's got a game in mind.
I do.
Okay, so we are going to start. We're going to do our usual. So go ahead, put your guesses in.
Oh, I hate this part.
So we're going to try to do it under 20. We've been pretty good, but we'll see what happens. We get there in the end eventually. So Ruff, I'm going to have you go first. So it's yes or no answers, Mo.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy. We ask you a question, you say yes or no, and then we alternate. So Ruff's going to go first.
Is it set before 1939?
No.
All right. We've got rid of 2,000 years in one question there. Look at that.
I'll make it easy for you.
There's more World War II games than anything out there.
I know. But
this is true.
Sure. I'm not sure. I know he's foible.
Yeah, that's why I was going to ask this next question. Is your game post 1945?
Yes.
Okay. So it's okay. Gotcha. Thanks, Tweez. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. And Dangerous Dave. All the Brits giving us daft numbers.
7.
Great confidence. Oh God, it could be anything, couldn't it?
Well, not really, because you've eliminated some games.
Yeah.
So I assume this is is it a land war game?
I love as he's sitting there and he's holding his head. You still hear the music in the background.
I know.
No, it's perfect. Yeah. It was perfect.
It's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this loop. Sorry, is it a ground war game?
Yes.
Would it be considered a Cold War gone hot? So 1985 type war game? No. Okay.
Oh, shock.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, damn it! I had a bunch of list of games.
Yeah, I was gonna that would have narrowed it down. No. Although I could have done one for that, and you guys never would have guessed it.
Probably. I did ask him to make it hard, but not too hard.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it too hard.
Yeah.
NATO's post 85, and it's 90s.
No, NATO's Cold War.
Cold War
Yeah.
Hot.
That would have been too easy.
That would
You
have
got that like
been my
first question.
guess.
But I know how much you
Is
love
it NATO?
because I know you love that game. So
Yeah. That's a good question for from Tweezers.
It's a yes no quiz.
He always does this. Yeah, he always has to do this. Who did under the thingy sky stuff? No, that's still Hot War.
That's still Cold War. No, yeah, that's
the only ones I don't know. The only ones I know that are set sort of tomorrow are Mitch's stuff. Unless you know of any others.
No, go ahead and ask for do a
manufacturer.
Yeah.
Is it a GMT game? No.
No.
That's that out then.
Hey, is it a Compass game?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling Bill.
Oh, geez. Okay, so it's not a GMT. It's not a Compass, which I would be thinking.
The only ones I know are like the sort of Cold War gone hot stuff. The only ones are next war.
Hey, all I said it's post 1945. It's not Cold War gone hot. There's a lot in there still.
Yep.
Oh, well, you think we're going?
How many questions are we in now? 5 or 6?
A couple, 2, I think.
We're up to about 6 or 7, somewhere along those lines. I think
he's not keeping count. That's good. So, Nigel, it could be if it's post 45. Worth thinking immediately is it because of his delectations that it could be Cold War gone hot or modern war. It could be bloody Korean, Vietnam. Is it pre-75?
Yes.
He hesitated.
Well, I had to think about what the title was, like to remember what era am I at.
Is it a flying pig game?
Yes.
I think I know what it is.
Do you know what it is
now? That gave it away. You had to think of the I'm pretty sure.
Flying pig.
There's 2.
I tried giving you a hint right there.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Flying pig. That's old school tactical. That's Flying pig as opposed to the other offshoot game.
Yeah, just flying pig. Yeah, not Tiny Battle. Not Tiny Battle.
Yeah.
There's actually only one game.
I don't know it. Why don't I know it?
It's 65, isn't it? What it's
yes. Vietnam. Is it called Vietnam 65?
Yeah. Vietnam 65.
Yeah.
That's why I hesitated on the thing. I was like, I had to think about the time because I was trying to give you a hint.
Yeah,
so you picked up good.
Well done, though. Good
yeah,
one.
I picked that one up. I appreciate the hint. Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah, I could have just been like, yes, no, yes, no. It's kind of boring.
It was, and I'm like, okay, we're thinking if it wasn't Cold War gone hot, I was either going to say it's going to be too easy and it would be 2040, but you said it wasn't a Compass game because I thought that would be funny. I thought you might think that's funny if it was already a game you had already mentioned. So yes, but yeah, no, the Cold War that's pretty cool.
9.
Did anyone get 60? Oh, you're funny. Haha, 65 guesses.
I'm gonna
everybody says it's a great game. I've heard
stuff about it. Yeah.
It is I enjoy it, which is kind of funny because I don't like Combat Commander and it's similar to Combat Commander, but this one feels different. I can still do things that I don't feel because Combat Commander to me feels like my experience that I've had with the game, it was just like nothing. All right, dumping my hand, and my opponent dumping their hand. It just felt like that more than it did actually making things happen. Now you still run into the same problem with 65, not as badly as you do in Combat Commander in my experience so far. So, but I do enjoy it, and I've got 85 Afghanistan that's coming out as well. But the original game that I was going to go for, would have been a interesting one that you never would have guessed, and then I was like, yeah, that would be too mean. Live Free or Die: 3 Battles for America by Microgame Design Group.
Oh yeah, have never.
Terry Anderson designed it.
Get
We would have been
out of
here
here.
for like till 5:30.
Yeah,
and
get
you
out
got-
of here. Yeah. I've seen some of those obscure games on your channel, Mo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's
It's
cool
really good.
about Flying Pig Games is this part right here. You can download the print and play game from. So it's normally $80 for them to purchase it. If you go to Wargame Vault, which
Mm-hmm.
share this tab.
Which is the other reason why I picked that, because it ties into today's gaming on a budget.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's too good for this show, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah,
Too
he
good
knows
for
that.
And on top of that, Old School Tactical 4 is coming out on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
wanted to kind of tie it all together. See, that's how you
Wait,
market.
wait! I thought you were a compass man.
Well, I mean, Mark's a good guy, and you know, Flying
Yeah,
Pig makes
he's
some great
a
games,
great
so
guy, yeah.
it's all tied together. So
Yeah.
got to help each other out.
We're all in the
But,
same
so
club,
it's
aren't we?
$80 if you buy it.
Mhm.
It's $20 if you decide
If you build it.
if you're
Yeah,
handing
but
it.
it's going to cost you $60 in printing ink.
Or 60 to like $120 worth of effort, you know, when
Yeah.
it comes to sitting down and being artsy craftsy. So, but it's great that they offer those. And then
Yeah,
on top
no,
of
it's
that,
cool.
on Wargame Vault, they run specials sometimes where it's regularly 20. You may be able to pick it up for $10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
this
get it-
one
yeah.
is normally 25. It must be on sale for 20. It's on sale for $20 right now. So
Yeah, sometimes they do deeper, you know, like 10,
Yeah.
$15 or something like that.
I
So
think I've
you
picked
can't
up
beat
a
it.
few games that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
I think
And what's
Jester-
nice is you can also do like depending on the time period you want. So if you want something, you know,
Yeah,
sci-fi.
but I think Jester actually downloaded Old School Tactical and printed the blooming thing off.
Mhm.
But mind you,
Well, he
uses-
printed off the maps so he could have the particular size. So because the map is so big,
Yeah.
you can just print off part of it.
if you want.
or-
Yeah,
I'm going to
which
get
is
that
really-
Stalingrad
that's really
map. That's what I
cool.
want.
So like, and also I know you can do solitaire too. You can search out solitaire. So if you're looking for solitaire games, things like that. So
well, I
I have not
downloaded.
played 65.
I downloaded Herman's the creature from Dubry X, whatever it's called,
Oh, Invasion from Dimension X.
and
Dimension
the other
X,
one,
yeah.
and the other one, second one, or third one, I think it was, about the
Attack of the Colossi.
the Colossi one. Yes,
Yeah, I've got those.
Yep.
I actually got videos that I've got to post on those.
yeah.
Oh, I did not know there's this next solitaire expansion for 65.
Yes,
Yes.
Alone in the Jungle.
Mhm.
And then
24
85
pages.
is in production, and that's coming out. And the solo expansion for that is Alone in the Mountains. So
Okay.
kind of
I-
stays
I mean-
along the same line.
I know he's a like a encyclopedia. Terrible. And he got us two drongos.
But that's how you do it, though. You tie it all together
I
so
know,
that we
yes,
stay
of
within the
course you
theme of
do.
the show and all.
Yeah, all right. Don't make us look bad any worse than we have.
I'm
Oh,
kind
now-
of
yeah.
okay at this. I guess I should start my own show.
Hey, you should do it. Hey, I got an idea, and get like 2 other guys to do it. Like
Yeah, you need
one-
3. 3's good.
Yeah,
That's a
three's
good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Maybe get another Marine, and then like some foreign guy, because that kind of works.
Does
The
it work?
foreign-
You've got
every
Seems to
foreign
be
guy.
the format that works. A foreign
2
guy
Yanks
and then
and a sort of non-Yankee.
2 Yanks.
Right,
Yeah.
and a non-one. Yeah.
Well, I still like 2 Marines and the Crocodile Hunter. I like that one the most. That cracks me up.
Yeah.
But-
no.
These solo expansions, Mo, for 65 and 85, are they you just play that expansion, or does it apply to the whole game? So it opens up
No,
the
it's
whole
just for
game?
that expansion. Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of so I mean the 85 was $100, by the way. So for
Mhm.
85 and the same amount.
You're getting these
plan.
giant counters, big maps. You know,
Yeah, I
standard
tell you what. Yeah, I mean,
overproduced thing from Flying Pig. They really build big games.
yeah, this is what I'm finding as well. That when I first, about 4 years ago, starting to buy war games, they were about 50, 60, 65 dollars, quids. Now it's getting nearer and nearer 100 pounds,
True.
dollars
For new games.
for new games. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even reprints and things. But yeah, which is why. Um,
2 cheery Marines.
And,
Yeah, he's
and
a
a
bit-
foreign curmudgeon. Although
he-
I don't know if you can really call Kev a foreign. He's got the accent, but he's kind of like America through and through. Like,
He's a Texan with an Aussie accent.
yeah.
He is. Yeah. But yeah, that's the fun thing is doing the shows and just meeting all these people and having us have very similar, if not the same audiences that come over and check out both. But going back to what you were saying, when it comes to the price of the games, I think a lot of that has to do with the pandemic, because pre-pandemic prices were kind of averaged out. And then with all the shortages and everything going on, that kind of just, and inflation, it just all added up. Now games they've all skyrocketed up to $100.
Which is why when you spend getting on for 100 British pounds or dollars, that you want to make sure you're getting
or $700 Canadian.
Of course, yeah, but Mickey Mouse, yes, Mickey Mouse money. Yeah, we don't count.
Well, you're saying $100, so that's like 700.
Yeah,
Canadian.
that's like a mortgage for them. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mind you, Australian dollars is virtually double.
That'd be 1,400.
Yeah. But when you're going to spend your 100 quid, $100, you want to make sure that it's going to last you. Like we were talking about combat exclamation mark, very expensive. Although some of the games are catching up now. If you look at the Alexander and Julius Caesar, for instance, that's off the P500. That's close to £100, $100. I think it's about 99.
Sure.
So. But there was a lot of game in that. If you're into that era, there's a lot of game. There's a lot of game in combat. It cost me a pretty penny, the two games. But I'm expecting, over the years that I've got left, that it's going to serve me well, as is the one we're playing. I mean, this is on this tremendous amount of stuff in there. You've got three games in there. Okay, when I got this, I was lucky to get it for about 60 quid, 65 quid. It's not that anymore, but you do get a lot of stuff in it. And of course,
is that mounted maps?
No. They need a 10-inch box.
Yeah, that's why I was like wondering if it was mounted map, because it's like there's this push now from some people saying we want mounted maps. It's like, okay, so you're bitching about a game being $100 now, and you want mounted maps to make it 120, 140. I mean,
I love mounted maps because I love mounted maps, and because when you video,
it looks better. Yeah, because you don't have to put the plexi on it. Yeah, sure.
This one's another game that's quite expensive now, but there's too many games. They're all back printed. There's about 15 maps, and they're all back printed. It's a lot of game.
That's the thing. It comes down to how much game you're going to get out of it. Now, today, I think everyone is all about getting. There you go. The minigame version of Ogre is $100 deluxe Kickstarter. You could have gone and picked up. They reissued the $2.95 version. Like 6, 7, 8 years ago, or whatever it was, and you could have gone and picked up a couple of versions of that for $3 instead of spending $100 for the Ogre.
Yeah, but hindsight, who knows? It's like I could have bought Carrier and Tokyo Express and all that years ago, but I wasn't sort of into that. Now I'm thinking, I want it, and I had to spend a pretty penny on Tokyo Express.
Yeah,
Ambush, Patton's Best, but hindsight's a great thing, which is why I say for Carrier, I couldn't afford. It was stupid, 100 quid plus money for an old battered copy of it. So I just printed my own. The number one thing being, you're talking about Combat and Combat Volume 1 and Volume 2, for example, the one that has all that game in it, and it does. Gaming on a budget. Another month or two, it's going to be the Compass sale that lasts to January, and they're going to be like 40% off these games. So you may not get it when everyone else gets it. You may have to go, oh man, I got to wait 6 months or 8 months. But guess what? But it's So what?
Now you can get both volumes for a little bit more than the price of one game.
I would do that. It doesn't work for me or for us guys.
For you, it's a little tough.
No, that's the problem. Which is why I've got it. Which is why I'm glad of the GMT sale, because they do. You pay a bit. Okay, it depends how much it's still quite a lot of money, but it's cheaper than say Compass or Flying Pig or whatever sending it across.
Yeah, because the shipping is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. I understand that, but they obviously send it across in containers and all that to second chance games.
That makes more sense than the stupid shipping to and from Canada. It's literally across the border. Why
I don't
am
know
I
why they
paying
don't.
$40?
I don't know why they don't do it in reverse like they did in the bootlegging days. Just go across in a truck. And
You'd be better off just driving across.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a 2-hour excursion down here. I'm going to go to pick it up, and then I'm going to drive back.
And I'm 45 minutes away from Canada, literally. Depending on where they're located. I know we've got somebody that was in Kitchener, Ontario, which is not that far away, something like that. But yeah,
you need to have a Wargaming underground built up, so that way you can say people say in Canada, go, hey, I want to get a copy of Combat, or I want to get a copy of Mr. President, or whatever, but I'm not paying $60 shipping. No worries, I'll pick up the copy for you here. We'll meet at the Timmy Hortons over here, and I'll hand it off to you. You give me the money, we're good to go. And then people are looking like drug deals going on.
Games. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of hub.
Yeah,
where people say, I'm going to be traveling to GMT, or I'm traveling to Doodah, or whatever Compass.
Sure.
I'll pick up some games. If you want, help out with the petrol a bit, and gas. And
fuel is the easiest way to say it.
Yeah. Well, no, because it could be plugging it in now, couldn't you? And it catch fire. But it just makes sense. Give me a donation for the fuel, and I'll go and kick it and just settle up when I get back. We'll meet back at old Nick's bar and have a good old time.
Illegal wargame.
Yeah, wargame money. Yeah, like the old bootlegging. Yeah.
I feel like Phoenix Knights. Gaming Over, don't date.
He keeps going on about not getting married. Okay.
And you probably have a bigger budget to game on. Yeah, but we'll talk. That's a quality of life thing, depending on.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's one of those things. So Alistair talked about buying secondhand games. You have to be careful with that, because some of them are stupid expensive, as Ruff was saying, and other ones are not. Other ones are fine. Other ones, it's weird.
The problem with secondhand games. I mean, when I bought Ambush, and it was unpunched, and it was quite a good copy, and it wasn't too bad. I was going to say, are you ready for your close-up, Mr.
Yeah, no kidding. I hate this camera.
You've got to be careful. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, you could pick stuff up on eBay, and it wasn't too bad. Now they've cottoned on that the Wargame, and it's silly. Like we're talking about Panzer Grenadier, the Marmite of Wargaming.
So we need to get an oil rig somewhere that someone's abandoned.
International waters, so we don't pay any tax or anything.
Exactly.
But yeah, the Panzer Grenadier, I picked up Eastern Front, with the orange maps for about 40 quid. It then went all the Panzer Grenadier stuff for some reason shot up, and all games became silly. Yeah. And also you've got to be aware of buying secondhand, because I've come across it. I bought what was it, Guderian's Backhand Blow for a okay price, and it was punched. When I got it, there was a couple of counters missing. So I emailed him and I said, look, there's a couple of counters missing. He went, it's all right, use something else, use some other counters. And I said, look, mate, that's not how it works. When you play these games. I have a YouTube channel, by the way, and I'll mention our little discussion if you wish. Oh, that's all right. So what he did, he gave me some more money off, and Jester printed them out for me. And so the game's there. But yeah, you've got to be careful of. I don't know why. I thought, I think I only about 300 subscribers, and so I've got a YouTube channel. I think that scared him enough. So,
I have a YouTube channel. I will ruin you.
I will ruin you. So you be careful when you're buying secondhand. Is all.
I got a Panzer Grenadier module that was missing the scenarios. Now I got it for a stupid price, like $10. So I wasn't. I'm like,
did you get those, by the way? Because I
haven't yet, but I actually got it to play a different module, anyways, because I needed the maps for a different module.
I think we're the only 3 people on me, you, and Jester that like Panzer Grenadier. I mean,
no, there's about 1,000 on their website. I keep up with their website because it's kind of cool to read some of the AARs.
Gareth. Yeah, the Raiden sent us here. There's another one I want. I've got the files to actually print it out if I want to, but it's just a lot of money for a second-hand game that's probably punched and a bit scuffed and a bit,
At the age of Saint Nazir, yeah, yeah, definitely.
I do want that game,
And of course, the person who paid the $140 makes it worse for everybody else because then everybody thinks they can get $140 or 140 pounds.
Well, if somebody buys it for 140, that's what the market's bearing. So if no one buys it, he has to drop it.
If somebody can afford to pay 140 pound because he wants it that, or she wants it that bad,
sure,
then they're going to buy it. If it was 300 quid and that person had 300 quid and wanted it that bad, they'll pay it. So
that's capitalism. You put it out there and I got to copy this for $300. Somebody goes back and goes, "You're smoking crack. I'll give you a 190 for it."
Yeah.
Okay, great. I was going to ask 140, but then I said, "What the hell? I'll go for 300 and see what somebody comes down. They come down at 190, $50 a head."
He don't know how to haggle.
Exactly.
Sorry, another Monty Python.
Another Monty Python. Yeah. No, because and the one thing about that I also think one way to do it is also if you are looking on eBay, is a lot of them will say extend an offer. So there's a couple of them I'm like, well, I know I can get it for cheaper, so I'll tell them how much I want it, and of course I lowball because that's what you do, and usually they got it to about where I wanted to pay for it. I remember I can't remember what game it was, but he had it for $100. I'm like, well, it's about $75 what I was seeing, and it was close to MSRP. And so I said, okay, how about 70? I think we agreed on 80. And I was like, okay, it's $20 off, about $5 more than I wanted to spend. Hey, it worked out. But always put an offer in. I've actually had one person that was like, oh, okay, just whatever whatever was offered.
And the other thing, of course, a lot of these people that sell war games in particular haven't got a clue.
They don't know the value.
Yep.
So they put out this daft price and see what happens. If some person buys it, and they go, all right, I got that right. Nobody buys it, or somebody puts an offer in.
You can also look on BGG and see what the last sales were.
Isn't that? Oh, you can. Isn't that getting?
Yeah, you could just look at the historical thing. Say, this game has been going for $50, $60, $80, whatever. And then if this person's asking for $40, it's like, dude, this game's been going on BGG for the past 5 years at around $80. So.
There's a website I use that has a whole separate category for Dent and Ding. And I bought some with a good discount, and I'm like, where's the dent? I'm like literally looking for it, and I can't find it. Like, it's crazy. So that's definitely one thing that I recommend doing.
And I think I can't remember if it was on Discord for not sure. It might be the Cardboard Warriors, Dangerous Dave's in it, and a few others. Talking about VUCA, I think it might have been Second Chance. They got a ding copy, one copy left of Nut Paris. Shall I get it? And they got it, and they come back and said, yeah, I got it at a good price, and it's just a couple of the corners are slightly squashed, everything else is perfect. So you go, I'll live with that.
Hell yeah, because you get brand new games that come in that way sometimes, because they just get crushed in shipping.
They're unfortunately in the wrong place in the crate or whatever. So
yeah, they're at the bottom or whatever.
And some people
I hate it if it comes that way.
Yeah, if it comes that way, it comes that way. I've got a few games that are like that, but some people will complain and want to get a brand new box because of that. Me, I'm just like, it doesn't damage the game as long as
the
it's not crushed.
The insides were good. It's just unfortunate. Yeah.
Games by the palette.
He goes a bit bonkers. Yeah, his last P500 was all the Command and Colors Napoleons and and Pursuit of and Pursuit of Glory. Yeah, it was like $350, I think.
Oof.
Yeah, oh.
Got that. And then Koi saying purchased Ukraine 43 first printing from Noble Knight.
Oh,
bet you paid for that. Because
they're
not cheap.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It depends on how. I think it depends on how many copies they have.
But they've got to make a living. They're a business. So but they tend to be a little bit. I think I'll wait. Probably be.
I'm just surprised that GMT hasn't reprinted Ukraine 43. They keep reprinting so many war games. Why not just reprint that one?
I would like that one because they're
reprinting France 40, which I'm looking forward to. I don't know how it works on P500 because that's another area that I like is early Western Front War.
Sure.
So looking forward to that. But that don't seem
There's
to be.
also one thing for pre-orders, because you generally do get a discount for pre-orders. And most times you can do this, especially with GMT. You can, if you're thinking about it, and you read their monthly emails, or you keep an eye on. You can find out where they're charging, and if you have the money at that,
good price.
£53.
Good price.
About $65.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You know, you look at other places too, like Miniature Market, Cool Stuff Inc. They run sales right now. Cool Stuff Inc. this past week. Yeah, I don't even know if it's still there, but Mr. President was on sale there for $45.
Good grief. Yeah.
You know, I've got an extra copy. I'm waiting for it to go out of print from everybody so I can sell it for
$150.
Yeah, you're one of those that hike the prices up. Yes.
It's called wargame speculating.
Yeah. It's capitalism.
Well, what was it? Meandering Mike said, too bad I didn't buy five copies of Case Blue.
Oh, yeah. I want 5 pallets of Case Blue.
If we knew then what we know now.
Yeah.
Really?
We would be about $3,000 or $4,000 richer. It's about
it.
Yeah, because what we bought it for, what we sold it for, and how long we had to keep it storage for. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that included shipping too.
Blimey, that is good.
Good price.
Yeah.
He's from over here, isn't he? And that was Noble Knight.
That's
Noble Knight.
Super cheap.
That's blooming good.
Yeah.
Probably no counters in it though, Coy.
No, it's first.
Well, that's the one thing I will say about Noble Knight. If you get a used copy and you go through it and they're missing stuff, you can contact them. They will fix it.
They'll sort it, which is what anybody should do if they're doing it.
Now,
so we've only got Second Chance Game over here. You've got loads of Noble Knight and Miniature Market. We've only got poor old Second Chance to do a sterling job because they're our only place to get proper war.
Is there no other way to have more competition over there for that?
No, I mean Zatu Games, who are a board game retailer, do a little bit, but they're like 6-8 months behind their GMT stock, and people get a bit and punched as well. But okay, we have to put up with it. Thomas was asking about Target for today. I'm not sure it's Second Chance. I'm sure they have, but I don't think the shipping would be. I wouldn't have thought over to Sweden would be stupid amounts. So check out Second Chance Games, Thomas, if you haven't done so already.
Yeah,
because that's another good game.
So if you're looking at a game, just wait till you find out if it's going to get printed, because sometimes if you pre-order, this has happened to me where I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have just waited because I didn't really want to buy it because of current financial situations. And I kind of like, oh shoot, I was bummed that I was like, oh, I could have waited because I pre-ordered it because I definitely want to get it. But if you just pay attention to their emails or like when things are shipping, you can get it before you can, like for GMT, you can, when you know that it's going to charge, you can buy it right before then, and that's in part of your budget because it's generally cheaper.
Well, the other thing with GMT P500s, you can pre-order hundreds. You don't get charged. You just have to make sure that when they come around, keep an eye on the email and think, do I really want this? Then you can adjust it. That's a good way. I mean, I think Compass, when you pre-order, they charge you.
No, they have two. They could charge you. There's a pay now and pay later.
Right. I mean, Second Chance Games has a pre-order where you get a few quid off, but you have to pay for it there and then. Which, if your budget's tight, which is why I love GMT P500, I still save a few quid if you work it all out. What the retail, once it gets over here and you work it out like I do because I'm that way, to see if I've saved any money. And yes, 9 times out of 10, it's either the same or I've saved a few quid. Games Law. Yeah, the problem with Games Law, again, it's like Zatu, that they get them when they get them. Like Second Chance is a registered sort of supplier of all the war game companies. They even ship out the stuff from DVG now, which used to be Zatu, but I think they messed up. And Games Law, yes, they do say they stock it, but it's normally out of stock and you have to wait months for them to get. Once GMT have supplied, say, Second Chance, then any left they'll send out a little while later to places like Zatu and Games Law, because I always check them. Yeah, and the prices tend to be not too bad either.
The German retailers can only do that if they are in Calais, because that they had the the artillery was able to get it across the channel. Dover was hit a little hard by that.
Well, the thing is, you wait for the GMT sale, which is once a year, and it's usually about a week. And then you've got the M&P sale, which is usually once a year. Sometimes they'll do 2, but they're only for a few days.
Yeah.
And then Revolution does a few sales that are spread throughout the year. And then you've got Legion, which will do some as well occasionally. But usually you get stuff on pre-order, you just get the deal, and then the pre-order price stays there for quite a while. So if you missed out on the pre-order, you can get that pre-order.
Revolution is that way too, which is that they usually keep it for that price for the full month that it's released.
Yes.
So that's really nice. Yeah.
And then Compass has that sale that goes for a few months. So you've got options that you don't have to get the game when it comes out, but you're also risking, is it going to be in print? But those are ways to save some money.
I've seen the videos, Charles. You're right. Get a grip, man.
Well, miniatures that's a whole nother.
That's another. Yeah.
We all like. I know you do, Mo, painting the odd miniature, and I do as well. It's another thing that takes up time. I've got tons of stuff waiting to be painted. It's just
I got hundreds of miniatures sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah.
Well, you can do like Kev have somebody else try to paint it for you, and then not receive it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he picked a good one.
Wow,
there, reputable chap. And
yeah,
I'll tell you what, I've never seen Kev. I know Kev is Kev, and he goes off the handle. He's a typical Aussie, and he won't take any nonsense. But I've never seen him go off on this vendetta, I think is the word.
And
quite rightly so.
When you hear the stories this guy's giving him, I mean, there's deaths in the family, one after the other, and then he gets stabbed, and he gets this and that. I mean, I'm like, come on, man. After a while, it's like absurd.
If it wasn't tragic, it'd be funny. Yeah, if it wasn't,
yes,
Kev, he just wants his miniatures back, But it's quite. He went for him. He went for the jugular.
Yeah, but the good thing too is, which is what I think is amazing about this community, is that people heard what happened, and there were people like, hey man, give me your address, and they started sending them miniatures that were painted, because this is just this brotherhood that we got here in Wargaming, which is fantastic.
Did I mention I'd quite like to get a copy of Raider St. Nazaire,
Okay, so the other thing
that's a very good point.
Yes. If you're okay with especially Tabletop Simulator, you can get just the module books from Lock and Load that have just the module, just the scenarios, and you can play them on Vassal or on Tabletop Simulator. It gives you everything. You can just buy that. You don't have to buy the whole game. And that book is like $30 or $40 instead of the $80 to $100 games. And David's been very open about that too. That's one thing that David was like, hey, not everybody's got the table space. Not everybody's got the time to put it out, but here's the thing. And he sent me I almost have all of them anyways. So I have a lot of duplicates now, but he sent me them. And so I can literally take this module, because the rule book, like let's say it's Lock and Load Tactical, that's free. The rule book's free.
Everything is online. Yeah.
And then you just buy the module book, and then use Tabletop Simulator.
Sorry, what company are we talking about, Tone?
Lock and Load.
Oh, cheers, Lockheim.
So I'm kind of curious on if other manufacturers would do something similar. I mean, it's not a bad idea, and it's a way to get people into your games. But also they have the digital versions where you don't even have to learn the rules. Yeah. And those are fun. I like playing my Lock and Load Tactical.
You just get shot to smithereens, don't you? It's great fun. Yeah.
That is great. And that's you have Nations at War. You get the Lock and Load Tactical digital that you can play, and that's a ton of fun. And then another version, which is another way of playing war games cheap, is to wait for the Steam sale, and you can get digital versions of war games. And there's a lot of board games that have been converted over to digital games as well.
Yeah, we did mention Wargame Vault, and if you like stuff.
We mentioned those because I've got a few games downloaded from those as well.
I have that Red Menace.
Yes, that's the one I downloaded, and I did a playthrough on it with my print and play version, and did it during the older COVID thing.
That comes with a Vassal module too, I believe, if you get the print and play version.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
right.
could,
But
yeah,
I'm
you
really
could. Well,
finding
the Vassal module's out there, so you just have the rules and everything.
Yes, yeah.
again, because it was hard to get over here, couldn't find anywhere, and it was too expensive to buy the game and get it sent over. So I just got the print and play, printed it out, and did a playthrough. Play games to play while you're coughing and sniffing, and isolating.
Oh yeah, that was your play it safe games.
Play it safe. Yeah, well, I see marketed, eh? Yes. Come on, let's have another one this winter. So,
I did not know Conflict of Heroes was on Steam.
oh, right.
That's not that's a
Yeah,
problem.
the thing, I don't know what it is. Is it, is it a generational thing? Certain war gamers won't play PC Steam games. They rather play the game.
Depends on what you want to do, because depends, I think, on mindset. Some people just want the tactile feel of
I love
the
that. Yeah.
game and stuff like that, which I do love as well. But and it depends on the scope of the game. Sometimes the bigger games are better when you're doing it on a computer, but by the same token, some people don't like the bigger games on the computer. So
Yeah.
Close Combat, fantastic series.
But
now another one,
the big games on Vassal, you have to do all this all the time and move about. The other thing to save money, boys and girls in the chat, is to great idea here is to play on Vassal and get somebody to teach you the game who's got the game, so you don't have to pay for it. So, and you just get them to teach you. So get a game you want to play, find out who's got it, and say, can you play? I'll play you on Vassal, and then at the last minute you say, I haven't actually got the game. Can you teach me? And saves you pounds.
one of the ones I was going to mention, which I kind of mentioned before, was Micro Game Design Group. You can get games there from, I think their lowest game is I'm looking at their site. They're all $30, and that's shipped. So
that's
that's $30-40.
Okay, it's a one-man band.
Yes.
It's not going to be GMT quality, but you're going to get a good game. And who's the designer? There's a main designer.
Kerry Anderson.
Kerry Anderson, yes.
Yeah.
I always think
really good games there.
Why do you think Thunderbirds when I hear that name? No, it's Kerry Anderson. Yeah. But
so that's good. And then being when we mentioned computer games, I'll throw a pitch out there for people who might like computer games. If you like computer games, if you like shooters, you have to check out 6 Days in Fallujah. We have been playing a lot of that.
Through the grapevine, you guys have been playing it.
Yes. Oh, forget the grapevine. I heard it straight out of their mouths every time they have a show, a Whiskey Charlie show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic game. And they just released another patch where now with the patch you can really tweak the missions more to make it more like what you want and select the mission you want to play. And on top of that, they've added harder modes, and then they've also added sandstorms and night play with no NVGs. So it's like nothing like going into urban terrain with pop-up illumination happening every so often, and you're going house to house clearing just like they did in Fallujah. It is an incredibly intense experience. It really is awesome.
Yeah, I believe.
Yes,
that.
he was, Mo. Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
We have played that once or twice, but definitely good if you like shooters.
Yeah, but definitely it's one of those things that there's plenty of games out there. And plenty of options out there that if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, you don't have to. It's a hobby that is kind of known for being expensive, but when you look around, there's a lot of options that make it less expensive. All hobbies are expensive because they're hobbies. They're not
True.
needs. They're not wants. Or they're not needs, they're wants. As I tell my students, you don't need a PC PS5. You want a PS5. We don't need these games. We want these games, and so it's not part of that budget a lot of times. But the joy that we get out of these games is something that you really can't quantify by cost and everything like that. Yeah, I can say I played this many hours. The game cost this much, so I got so much per hour play. Things like that. To me, that's not as important as how fun is it when Ruff is rolling dice against me and it reverses, or he absolutely obliterates me when I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
This big orange colored.
Yeah, this big. I got a huge army coming at him, and it's like nope. Ruff's like, nope. We're just gonna send bullion against you. You know,
I'm going to come around a bit there, do a bit of that, and then but also is from my tip is from my experience of buying games is go for the big deluxe versions if that game suits you, like SPQR or Iron. You know, the tri-packs which GMT are doing. I don't know if other companies are doing like tri-packs. You've got the quad from Decision Games, D-Day Quad, which some people anyway, but that sort of thing. So spend your money wisely on a game that you know you like. It's a bit expensive to start with, but you're going to get a lot of gameplay out of it. Like
See,
combat.
I say Fallujah, and look who shows up.
I was going to say we said his name too many times. We said his name too many times.
About how you're getting your arse tanned by the other two in Fallujah.
Well, it's a co-op game, so no one beats anybody
No,
except the AI beats up.
You know, when he's walking, is in front of you, you shoot him. He goes, "Who did that?"
That, you know, the funny thing about that is that would be a bit of a sore subject for Kev to bring up, or to bring up to Kev, because Kev is known to pull the trigger on people when they step in front of him.
Yeah, he's trigger happy, is he? He's a bit loose with the trigger.
Well, it depends on how much he's had to drink.
Yeah,
But,
those are the sort of games you've got to have a couple of drinks, have a great laugh with, haven't you? You've got to.
You do, because you need it to just kind of bring things down, because it can get pretty intense.
Yeah,
I think Thomas is taking a poke at you there, Ruff. I mean, definitely a portable hobby. I mean, who has an entire wall of board games? Well, then you've got Edward. Only one wall? How about
I know.
other?
This is it. Well, no, actually, it's starting now to pile up on the table over there because I've got no more room, and it's getting a bit silly because it goes all the way down the floor. I've got crap. I've got stationary crap there, and I've got all these plastic things here that, you know, oh dear, oh law. Yeah, but the thing is, if it's your hobby, you're going to find a way and a means to get that next game that you want. So,
or you're going to start a YouTube channel to fund your hobby, because we all know that having a YouTube channel makes you billions of dollars.
Thousands a month we make on it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm actually on a deserted
hundreds of
island
pennies.
Hundreds of pennies, yes.
Funded myself, and I've got electricity and air conditioning and all the food and, you know, everything. I have beer fountains and everything. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
literally in my basement, you know, like in Northwest Ohio. So now he does have a point here. It is cheaper than collecting classic cars.
Anything is cheaper than collecting classic cars.
This is true. Now, I do have, I would say, with all that big dollars, yeah, that's true. You can pay for tweezers, but you can buy dice. We can afford dice now.
Yes. You know, I will admit, we do get paid for this after a while. It takes a long time to get to that. Literally, my first YouTube check.
Oh, you've had one?
I took the kids out for dinner. We went and had a nice dinner on me. On
McDonald's dollar menu.
Yeah.
Kids menu. I take my kids out. So it was kind of funny. When I'm like, cool. Hey, you want to go to dinner?
The problem is with the ads on YouTube, even if you aren't eligible,
if you're not, they're still running the ads. They're making the money, so you might as well. So you might as well monetize.
Bloody, you know, get a couple of pence. You know.
Yeah, Mo's streaming from his bar. He's obviously wealthy.
This is true. In my bar, in my bunker, and
that's right.
How was Sonic?
This is actually the shed in my third house.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought this was your east wing.
That's the east wing, yes, of the third house. Yeah, because we get.
He calls it the shed.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, it's an old shed. Yeah, it's half an acre.
OnlyFans ASMR counter clipping.
Oh man, that's a good idea.
Oh, geez, you guys crack me up. It's such a good community, and it's
the chat is always
so much fun. Yep. So. Oh, we're at 2 hours. I can't believe that already. But I hope we gave you guys some ways to, you know, maybe find some cheaper stuff. Big Board makes stuff. He pays his staff to clip the game. I've literally watched him clip counters before in real life. So
yeah, he does, because it's obvious when you watch him clip counters. He's never had a counter clipper in his hand in his life. He's just trying to be one of the boys, and it's normally his staff he gets to do it. One of the
he doesn't have the calluses on his hand. Yeah. Literally, I think he's shown pictures at his new house. He actually does physical labor. Like it's hard to believe he doesn't pay anybody to do everything. Everything.
But the funny thing is, we were talking about all these people and all this the YouTube money and everything. Well, obviously Jester has billions of dollars because he gets pallets of games and he's in Europe right now.
Yeah.
And I heard he's at an errata conference to try to make sure errata goes away.
Yeah, you know, when he hears this, you're never going to be invited back again. Until he goes away again, then we'll have you back in a shot. So
grow thicker skin and just enjoy it.
I'm joking.
So this is the first time Thomas has seen you in real life.
Oh, really?
In video life.
Yeah.
So
in video life, huh? You got to come on over to the channel. We're going to be doing Whiskey Charlie on Tuesday.
Oh, I was going to ask you as we are finishing up here because we're hit the 2-hour mark, and God knows I'm going to start dying of food here, lack of food. So you got Whiskey Charlie coming up this Tuesday?
Yep, this Tuesday.
And what's the subject? Just general chit chat again? What you've been playing, or is there a specific title?
We haven't discussed the topic yet. That's top secret.
You're as bad as us.
Yeah. But I will tell these guys what the topic is. We'll decide what the topic is faster than I got, or earlier than I got it today. It was more like, hey, here's the link. We're going to be talking about this.
Yeah, but you're pros.
Oh, and by the way, think of a game. Okay.
They're all big shots. We're just just.
That was great. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, what game am I gonna? And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna go with 65 because it ties into Flying Pig, and they've got the Kickstarter, and all of that.
You know what? I wish most of our guests would do this because they don't normally do that. They just look around, or not naming any names. The person that picked one game when we asked him to was sitting there like this with his finger pointed like that.
Oh,
and we still didn't get it.
Yes, we're actually really enjoying it. Yes, we're enjoying it too. So, real quick. So, Mo, we kind of already talked that you've got some editing that you're doing, and you got Whiskey Charlie Tuesday, right? 8 Central, correct?
It'll be 7 Central. So it's 8 Eastern.
So that's 8 Eastern. That's right. That's always 8 o'clock for me.
When is the first of the Red
Strike videos won't be coming out until the game.
When's that coming on? What's the first one?
They'll all come out at the same time, probably about time for the game release. So that's why we're trying to work on them now, get them done, and that way we've got all the videos done. They'll just be like, here's the playlist. Go through it.
Oh, cool.
Binge watch.
Yep, binge watch them.
The new VUCA game, which looks bloody tremendous.
So,
it
does.
Do you have anything else that you're going to be releasing? I mean, obviously that'll be a while before that comes out. You got anything else coming out?
Well, I'll have a Learn to Play coming out next week, and that'll be on 1812, more on the Great Lake Frontier.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to that one.
So that should be fun. Yeah.
Yep. And Ruff, what you got coming out?
Well, I've got to play with some bozo on Friday.
I know, he's such a pain in the ass.
But I'm looking forward to that Friday. So join us if you can, a bit of Men of Iron. And hopefully we'll get some combat recorded so we can start getting that up. Because I know everybody in his dog has done videos on it, but me, I'm 6-8 months too late. But it's a great game, so I'm going to try and get that up. See as many of the introductory sort of scenarios I can get up to let people know who haven't got into it, maybe to see how much fun it is, because there will be mistakes, and that's half the battle and fun with it as well. And that's about it. I might have some unboxings. I've got some stuff being sent through from Sept Games, so we'll see if that turns up. We'll do some stuff with that, but I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, the good thing too is, somebody was saying that it's a little too late to watch Whiskey Charlie, but good thing is all of us have worked out a global contract, so that way we are in syndication. So if you missed the live version, you can watch the replay in syndication
on your schedule. On your
schedule. Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, schedule.
Yes. Okay. I know Friday. By the way, Friday will be probably the last one for the week. I have surgery on the 28th. on Thursday 28th. So hopefully we'll finish this game. This one that way when I get back and I'm back to normal, we can start
You've
something
never
new.
been normal.
No.
Yeah.
That's what we
Normal
said
for
in
my
surgery
normal
for.
state. Yeah, for normal for me. Let's put it that way. How's that way?
There you go.
But I don't know if I'm going to get much out. It's a pretty heavy school week and everything like that right now. But we'll see what happens. You never know. I might find a timer here or there.
Mhm.
But other than that, Mo, thank you very much.
Yes,
Really
thank you,
enjoyed
sir.
it. I was glad to have you back on. Good
Yeah.
to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's
Everybody
great to be
in
on.
the chat, thank you very much. It was a great show.
And I just want to say before you go, if you haven't pushed the like button, please give it a smash for Tony's sake. And if you haven't, by some weird thing, subscribe to these two, make sure you do. And if you're watching in the future, if you're watching in the future, and you enjoy what you see, put a comment in. Just put something like replay family. Just because you put some words in, the old algorithm will pick it up rather than the thumbs up or smiley face. Yeah, replay family, just to say, and that tells us you've watched it, and we love you for it. And there's nothing you can do about it.
And I will say one thing to Kev's comment. Love you, boo boo. You'll know what I meant.
All right. We'll talk to everybody later. Have a great week, and we'll
Yeah.
see everybody on Saturday. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.